So here we go. Let's let me do a refresh on the old YouTube's machines, and we've got all kinds of mess going on. I don't know. We've got. Let me delete the old one. Delete forever. Yeah, go away. All right, the old one's gone. The new one's here. So anybody who was over on the old one, I'm sorry. We're struggling with the old YouTube machine today. It's not cooperating with us. I've got many of my friends are here. We've got some. Here we go. We're here to talk about the state of Star Wars. And I just wanted to invite my friends here for my birthday. We have 156 days until Christmas 2022. And today I get to hang out with friends and talk Star Wars. How better? I mean, it can't get any better than that, right?
I thought you were going to say it was 156 years young. That's what I thought you were going to say when you said that number.
Santa's way older. Santa's way older than 156, and I'm way younger. So
when you defeated the last Santa to become the new Santa, that's
right.
why I figured.
In single combat, right?
Yes. Yeah. With like a spork. It was amazing. Great performance.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. I steal the line from Greg, Darth Elvis, here with us. Thank you all for joining today. I absolutely have had a wonderful year. Since last July, we got monetized. The channel's been around a bit longer than that, but last July for my birthday stream, we invited some friends on, and Meg will be joining us here shortly. But we invited some friends. We talked about Star Wars, and this adventure has gone now for a good year. And along the way, we made some new friends. We've got to meet more people, and I'm so happy to have many of you here with me today. I know that we've got many others who are part of the community who are out here. And if you hit me up on DM me on Discord, I'll send you a link to join the fun. But I just got some of our friends here to kick it off. Oh my goodness, Ducky Momo. We love to give the duck a hard time because he wins all the things.
This is how he pays for the wins. This is their secret way. This is how he fixes it.
Yeah. I don't know, Santa. I think you have to show him your Darth cheeks for that much.
Yeah.
Live viewing. I got this morning. I got an exclusive photo from the Halcyon cruiser. Our friend Martin has actually gone on that cruiser and taken the cruise, taken the tour, lived the life. And he sent me an exclusive view from the Halcyon cruiser that's never been seen by anyone ever before and should never be seen again. Right?
Oh, yes.
Nice work, sir.
You can see where the money is for that cruise after you've seen that picture.
Thank you, Nerd Mafia. Appreciate that. Am I officially a senior citizen? Well, here in Ohio, they have a thing called the Golden Buckeye card. For anybody who's 55 or older, I now qualify for a Golden Buckeye card to get discounts on stuff at stores.
And you can't be arrested if you're just slightly drunk. He's got the Golden Buckeye card. Gotta let him go. He's at that stage. So.
Yeah, let me find this. Let me find this exclusive photo that was sent to me this morning. And many of you have seen it. Many of you have been exposed, let me say, to the. But here.
This is what your $6,000 gets you. This is what you're paying for.
Right. Again, for all of you who haven't been able to afford to go on the Halcyon cruiser, maybe you would love to be able to go. Here's an exclusive view that you'll only see here on the Star Wars Santa channel.
There it is.
You can't put a price on memories. You can't put a price on memories.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that picture's going to pay my way onto the Halcyon starcruiser at some point. Signing copies.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
Santa got the golden buck-eyed card. I guess Greg being a bit older, yours is probably a brown buck-eyed card, is it?
Brown eye.
Oh my goodness! So we want to talk about the state of Star Wars, and we've got a whole collection of folks with different kind of background, different experience with, and different kind of opinions on things. And I thought, well, what better time? We're in between series. We're ramping up towards the. Oh, there's Fitz. Hey, thank you, my friend, Star Wars Fitz. Appreciate the super chat there as well, my friend. Thank you so much for that. 55 years younger, right? 55 years old. No, I wanted to kind of talk about it. We're kind of ramping up towards Andor. We've got other projects coming this fall and going into winter. There's a whole slate of Star Wars on Disney Plus. Is that a sign that Lucasfilm Star Wars under the Disney banner is doing well? Is it smoke and mirrors? What's the thought? Where are you with it? And we can also get a bit of insight from my friend Martin, who we just mentioned. He just came off of the Halcyon. We hear lots of rumors about that experience, right? We've seen lots of videos about it. We've seen some people's thoughts about it. But for somebody who's been there, tell us about your experience.
Okay, so first of all, I was like, oh, it's just me on here now. That's a bit weird. Okay, so first of all, I was a paying customer, so there's no sort of like any sort of gratuity to me going to it. It was our big family holiday. It's the last time our children are realistically going to be on holiday with us, so we decided to finish with this extraordinary trip. And I'll tell you what the problem is with the Halcyon. They will never be able to market what happens on there. Every video you see, every picture you see might look kind of cool, but it will never, ever make it real as to what it's like when you're on there. And it's fully immersive. You are in Star Wars. It does take place between The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. It is the only time so far that Kylo Ren and Rey meet during that. And you are absolutely 100% part of canon through doing that experience. And probably the best review I can give is my wife, who before going in said, don't expect me to really get into this because I know you're the big Star Wars nut. And she came out going, that was worth every penny. I can't believe I was in Star Wars.
Fantastic. Now, that's awesome. I would love to be able to go someday. Wanted to ask the other side, were you the only guest there? It was exclusive to the Zuvium family? Martin Keel's family?
Sadly not. So I think we looked, there's a capacity sign on the atrium, which is kind of, the atrium's the bits where you all have to meet at the same time. I think the capacity was about 440. So there's not that many people on it, which again is quite important because otherwise you could feel like it's very closed in and too much going on. It's busy, but it's not overwhelmingly busy by a long stretch.
Well,
so of the 440,
there's life support needs here. I mean, you can
absolutely,
only so many people.
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, absolutely real. If you have 8,000 people on this little boat, and you're in trouble.
Absolutely.
So of the 440 that could be in the atrium, were there 10 or like 400?
I think there was nearer 400. I'm not sure it was 100% sold out, but it was certainly full. So when everyone got into the atrium, it felt like there couldn't have been too many more people in there.
Wonderful. So that is good to hear. Again, just to get the firsthand, somebody who's been there, somebody who's experienced it. I appreciate that, Martin, so much. So Mike Porter has given us a super chat. Thank you for that, Mike Porter. Mike, the Stan Shield Porter. I shared this on my Discord this morning that for me, Thor: Love and Thunder was better than Thor: Ragnarok.
Hush your mouth. That's a bold statement, sir. Hush your mouth.
I know.
That's amazing. I can't wait to see it now.
So there you go, Mike the Shield Porter. I know Mike loved it. Hey, I want to catch X-Wing here because I know you've only got some limited time with us. You and Obsession joining us from the West Coast, along with Jason, getting up early in the morning to join us here. I really appreciate it. X-Wing, state of Star Wars. Where's the state of Star Wars for you?
Zuvium is clearly being paid by Disney to say that. There's just there's simply no other way. I don't know, man. You know, I'm battered, but I'm not broken right now. Kenobi was for sure like my first. I didn't like the sequels. I haven't made any bones about that. But like Kenobi was my first like violently negative reaction to Star Wars content. I shocked myself in my own capacity to hate something that has two of my favorite, things in Star Wars in it. But it didn't work. So yeah, I don't think it's like dead, but it's on life support for me right now. But I know we got possibly one of the best Disney Plus shows coming soon in Andor, and I'm super pumped for Mando season 3. That looks ridiculously epic. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm in a holding pattern right now.
That's a good question that I like to ask as well, and a lot of people have. Of the upcoming projects, which are you most excited for? And you just mentioned the one I'm most excited for. It's Mando season 3.
Yeah.
I absolutely love The Mandalorian, and season 3, continuing that story, and just from what Jason shared with us as well as others, that has me super hyped.
It looks amazing, and the cinematography just alone in that show is kind of what's like. I mean, I love The Mandalorian. That's the most Disney stuff I have in my room is all Mandalorian stuff. But that scene at the end of the trailer where you see him coming into the shattered dome of Mandalore, and there's the little bit of the condensation coming off the end of her ship. It looks like a Christopher Nolan movie. Like it looks like Interstellar or something. So I'm just super hyped.
Yeah, I am as well. So we've got Star Wars, of course, is more than just the movies. Of course, the movies is perhaps the most disappointing for me. When you talk about the current state of Star Wars, the movies, to use your term, is on life support. It's what it feels like to me, because none of the movies that were sort of pipelined seem to be at a point of execution, right? We hear about all these shows that are filming, they're in pre-production, they're in production, they're doing work. The movies are pre-production at best, right? So
Rumors.
To me, that feels like life support. Disney Plus Star Wars seems extremely healthy to me, and it would seem that way from like the way that Disney Plus has been publishing their numbers, that Star Wars is holding up that platform very well. But then there's publishing and there's the toys.
There he is.
From publishing and toys, where would you where do you stand there?
Publishing, it's actually kind of tough. I've been enjoying a lot more of the older books right now. I haven't been reading a lot of the new stuff that's come out. I'm really interested in the new Luke book, where you basically take the adventure as Luke. I'm excited to read that one. I haven't quite gotten to it yet. From a toys perspective, Hasbro and I have a complicated relationship right now.
Hey, we've got Zuvium here as well, right? A Black Series collector. I would say that's true for any collector. Would you agree, Martin?
Yeah, so the good news is Hasbro have announced they're not getting rid of the bubble for the vintage collection, which I think is a sigh of relief all round.
Thank God. Okay.
Why it took them so long to make that announcement is beyond me, but thank goodness they've made the announcement and it's the right one. Black Series is at a bit of a jumping off point though, with the boxes going to non-plastic.
Mm-hmm.
And I do. So I was having a conversation with Baymax about this. He says like a lot of people might choose now as a moment to jump off, but I agree as well. But I don't think it's necessarily about the change of box, although that doesn't help. I think it's the fact they're costing so much money now, and there's so many of them, that this change in packaging where you can't actually see the figure unless you open it gives you the perfect excuse to say, okay, enough.
Are they still going to do bubbles for the archives? Do you know?
They haven't said anything about that.
Okay.
What they've said, it's basically where the packaging is part of the reason for buying it. So they've said retro and vintage collection. They kept quiet about archive. I suspect archive will go to cardboard as well.
I like it. I like it for the special releases. So like when we got the Filoni, the Trapper Wolf figure, and it was in the really nice packaging. It had really good coloring. I was like, okay, I could get behind that. But pretty much everything else, like, no, I want to see the figure. Let me see the figure.
Absolutely, yeah. But even the Filoni ones slide out, and you can see it.
Yeah.
And ironically, got no plastic.
Yeah.
Well,
but that one needs plastic. Yeah.
They just did this George Lucas one, right? This is a feature, right? So even though it's Black Series, what's the chances they keep is sort of X-Wing's talking, right? What are the chances that they would still release some Black Series figures on cards as a feature?
They will if it's what they've explicitly said, if it's part of the product rather than packaging, and that clearly is aimed at making it look like a retro figure, so therefore it's part of the product.
I think when we get our 16th Mando with scratches on the armor, it's going to be a special edition scratched armor Mando. It's going to be an all cardboard for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they have got an all cardboard box at San Diego Comic-Con at the moment. So there is one to be seen, which is the Ned droid appears to have the cardboard Black Series box.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would agree that with you, X-Wing, it's a complicated relationship, right? We're getting some fantastic figures. The figures that they are releasing, for the most part, are wonderful. Some of the best that have ever been created. Mm-hmm. But there are so many things with Hasbro that make me crazy, right?
You're not listening. No, you're not listening. What does he say? Kylo?
Yeah. It's just I'm tired of the big box exclusives, right? And the limited quantities that get bought up. They make me nuts on that. The pre-order
that happened with your George Lucas, right? They were like, "We'll see you in, you'll get it in September," and like, "Oh, just kidding, we're pushing it to like August of next year."
Right. Oh, as Martin and I like to joke, it's like they want you to get the premier pre-order experience or the
the experience. I love the experience.
Yeah. Wait in line, click as madly as you can, and then don't get it. That's a wonderful pre-order experience.
So this is going to have UK on it, but this is the bit that I can't get my head around with Hasbro. So someone rather handily, Star Action Figures over here, have put a post up about how frustrated they are as a seller. So if you take a clone trooper, okay? So fundamentally, this is the same figure, but it might have different paint apps, and paint apps can vary things a bit, but fundamentally, it's not that different. At the moment, you've got a 501st clone, which was £19.99 when it was announced. You've got a 13th Battalion Clone Trooper, which is £33.99.
Oh.
The price was then adjusted a month later down to £29.99. Then you've got an ARC Trooper, same figure, £24.99. A Shock Trooper, £32.99. And then the 332nd clone, £26.99. How can you have the same figure at so many different price points? That's the bit that I think is really making people scratch their heads, especially as the price keeps going up.
Yeah. Well, I know X-Wing were right at your cutoff. I'm so happy that you joined me, and I love you, my friend. I know that you have ordered a custom that's supposedly on its way from across the pond over
Yes.
in Spain.
Yeah.
And it should arrive here anytime.
It's only been like 6 months we've been waiting. It's it's been a fairly it's quicker than Hasbro, but it's been a minute. So I'm
has.
super excited. I was really hoping it was going to be here by your birthday, but I guess there's like you were saying, there's some stuff going on with customs, but I think it's going to be really nice, and you're going to love it.
Well, so we're gonna, just to let folks know, we're gonna do a stream together, X-Wing and myself, when that comes in. We're gonna do an unboxing, and we'll talk about more of this stuff in Star Wars, whatever's going on at the time, whenever it gets here. We'll do the unboxing. We'll talk about it. And look, I love you, my friend. I thank you so much for being here. And we're in different places. And we talked about this a little bit before, but it hurts my heart to see you hurting when you're watching Star Wars.
Why, Ween? Why? Yeah, that's true.
I know. I really want you to be as happy as I am, and to just be as nerded out as I am. And when you see somebody who's as disappointed as what, you could just see it. Like, you could just see it draining out of your face.
But I loved you because you were cool about it, though. You were like, "Oh man," and you weren't like, "You guys are all shills." Cool. I respect it.
In his defense, that's all you hear, though. We hear the real stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
always on.
In the hangar bay, we hear it. Like, you guys don't hear it on the stream because he's like, he's like, "Oh, it's okay, guys, it's cool," and then to us, he's like, that's what it is, like, for everybody else. But it's okay. I mean, it's all good. We appreciate it.
It's called composure.
Come on.
That's great. Perfect word.
Santa, buddy, I wouldn't miss it for the world. I love you too, man. Happy birthday. Thanks for having me, and enjoy the rest of your day, man. I'll be lurking.
Thank you. God bless you. Take care,
guys.
Bye-bye. All right. Elvis is in and out and in and out. He's in the building. He's out of the building. You're back.
Check it all about. I'll get the Darth cheeks out in a second. Sorry, though, technical difficulties. I've changed laptop, so hopefully.
Oh, okay. Well, I know that I've invited you on the stream a couple of times, but you've been busy. Darth Elvis has been performing.
Yes, I've been here, there, and everywhere. So thanks to a certain Zuvium and DJ Elliott, I was in Anaheim performing at the Multi Club Bash, which was incredible, with a band called the Flux Capacitors, or the Force Capacitors as they were known that night. Just back from LFCC. I was playing at London Film and Comic Con a couple weeks ago. And I was meant to be going to Edinburgh tonight. I'm going down to Edinburgh tomorrow to perform at Capital Sci-Fi Con. So it's been all go. Yeah. Hot damn.
Look, many of us dream of being able to go to a celebration, and not to toot Zuvium's horn anymore, right? Martin's already shown his shieldtasticness, right? He's already shown, but being on main stage at Celebration with some of our icons is something that many of us only dream about, but Martin has actually done. But going to Celebration, many of us dream about, but you've actually performed. And if you guys have not seen Darth Elvis performing at Celebration, you should go check out his YouTube channel and watch this. It's a great fun, a lot of audience interaction. You get out there and you interact with the people. It's a fun show. Really is.
2,400 people singing Sheev Palpatine together is really quite a sight.
It's just about 400 more people that should have been in the room, wasn't it? Because I think people were sneaking in.
No, there was 3. Right, I'm going to put this myth out there. We did a sweep. We found 3 people who didn't have wristbands, and this is the best thing: they had tickets.
They were going to shut us down at one point. Yeah. Oh well.
Excellent. Very good. And an obsession, Star Wars obsession. I know. I again appreciate you getting up early in the morning. My shield brother,
Early
from another mother.
I've been up since 5 Pacific time. Let's go. I got cats, bro. They don't let me sleep.
No, I was able to go and do a live stream with you. You proudly wear the same moniker that I do. What would you say is the state of Star Wars for you?
It's a slippery slope. I see two different sides of this coin, right? It's an interesting dynamic. On one side, all Star Wars is toxic. All the fans are toxic, whether you're positive or negative. I mean, the Star Wars acronym or the title is proper because the fandom has been at war since Jump Street, right? Way back when there were people on opposite sides of this or that, right? And so this isn't anything new. We just have a bigger platform to voice our opinions. We don't have to be in front of each other, to have these conversations like back, in the 80s and 90s and 70s. So for me, this is par for the course, right? Everybody being at each other and disagreeing. We just have a bigger platform to voice our opinions now. I'm enjoying what's going on in Star Wars right now. They've kind of they took a slap to the wrist with Solo, and they really kind of, I don't want to say, they took a step back from movies for a while. It seems like, right? When Solo came out, people had a fit, and they're like, let's just turn these into TV shows later. Let's just put these on the back burner. Let's do this Mando thing that's coming out. People loved it. It re-energized the fandom. And then they went back and made these other two shows that were supposed to be anthologies along with Solo. And, there's a lot of divisive opinions. So it's tough because I enjoy what they're doing. I think there's a lot of long time storytelling going on, and people are impatient. And they want it all now, and if it's not now, then they poke holes in it. I think there's a lot of storytelling left to tell, and once all the cards are on the table, I think a lot of people will come around to where, the content is.
Very well said. Very well said. So many thoughts. Because we do have friends with different opinions. Our friend X-Wing, for sure, one of those. But what we saw in the past, as we were younger, all of us here, some of us aren't as old enough to be, I put it up here, Star Cabal, right? You're older than my dad. Not all of us could be as old as, or older than Star Cabal's dad, but, certainly I am.
Could be.
I must be close.
I am Star Cabal's dad.
No!
Jason shot first.
Meg should be joining us. I think Meg will be joining us soon. But many of us are old enough to remember life before the internet, life before social media. And if you didn't like, say, the Ewoks, then you just said, boy, those Ewoks are terrible. In the end. Yeah, nobody accused you of being toxic, or nobody.
Well, because there was social ramifications. If you walked around going, Ewoks suck, Ewoks suck, hey, you Ewoks suck, and you made it your whole thing, nobody would talk to you.
Right.
But on the internet, you think you could keep doing it. And people will what? And some people do. But
there's a lot. There's opinion. There's so many of us that have opinions that, we all have our own opinions. And with social media and this and YouTube and all that, it gives us a place to go where the rest of like-minded folks are. Not many people watch opposing view content, right? I tend to, because I enjoy it. I think it's great. I love the spirit of debate, and sometimes somebody can change your mind. It doesn't happen often, but every now and again, when somebody says something that lights the bulb in your head and you're like, oh man, that sucks. I have been wrong all this time about this. That's what debate should be.
Yeah. I
debate,
kind of
not
direct
hate.
people.
That's it.
There's a couple of things that I've been kind of connected to it, and I talk a lot about it off stream with Jason and Meg and others. There's a documentary on HBO Max about the QAnon folks, and how 8chan was used to help spread a lot of misinformation and really drag people down into conspiratorial rabbit holes, right?
What Santa's trying to say is, will you guys join Qui-Gon on that he's starting?
That is a great name, by the way. Oh, that's perfect.
It can happen in anything. Our friend Jason here is teetering on the edge of the alien invasion conspiracy.
It's happening, guys. Watch out.
Let's talk. Hey, I'm with you, Jay. Let's talk. I'm down.
Yeah, if you want to do the UFO show, come and do it. I'm down.
I'm down.
Yeah, Meg is in the same.
Hey, Meg.
Hello. Happy birthday, Santa.
Thank you so much, my friend. I love you so much. I appreciate all your support.
You're talking to me.
All of you, but mostly Meg. Mostly Meg. Look, I've made it quite public that Meg is my first lesbian crush. Like, I absolutely love her.
Lesbian crust.
Crush. But
that was a Domino's I wasn't expecting.
But it's just, look, these conspiratorial kind of, it's like a black hole. Like you get caught into the gravity of it, and you get pulled in.
What are we talking about? Still talking about lesbian crusts?
No. In the fandom, there are groups of people who are kind of on the periphery of the black hole, of getting sucked into a really bad place in the fandom, where we talk about kind of people being toxic on one side or the other. And as you were saying, Obsession, like, it's important to be aware of the broader picture so that you don't get drug into a bad place. And I think it happens way too much. Somebody watches a Mike Zero video, which then follows into another video, which then follows it, and they keep just presenting more and more and kind of deeper into the black hole, the abyss. And the next thing you know, you start to believe all that nonsense.
Not to defend Mike Zero, but he's like the least of the Star Wars fandom's problem. He's just a minor nuisance on the periphery of some very politically far-right channels.
That's exactly why I mentioned him in that, right? Like, he's on the periphery. You watch that, and it's like Mike Zero, I think, is harmless from that perspective. The guy's just working hard and doing videos all day.
No. He has to. So he has to make videos, otherwise he doesn't get fed. That's the evidence. He is locked in that room, and every time he needs to eat, he has to publish a video. That is the only explanation as to why there's so many.
Mike Zero got to eat too.
Yeah, exactly. Like a lesbian crust pizza gets slipped under the door every time. Every time a video goes up.
I feel like
tell us what's going to happen. Oh, sorry.
No, I think people don't get it. Some people get really upset about Mike Zero, but he's just a parody of himself.
Yeah,
I think he's just trolling everyone.
I agree. And but I was watching some of his videos got presented up to me the last couple of days, and I normally don't watch them. I just can't. There's a line, but I started watching one of them, and people are starting to believe that it's true, right? Like, everything that he says is truth, and therein lies. That's why I say he's on the periphery. Like, there's no harm in Mike Zero. He's fine, but when you watch his video and it presents,
I think there's harm in clickbait. I disagree with that. I think there's a lot of harm in clickbait. I think that people and look, I'm a gullible, right? I mean, there's some stuff I just like. I see a thumbnail and I'm like, ooh, right? Like, it's that easy sometimes, right? So if there's one of me, there's millions of me, and misinformation, regardless of how small it is, right? Clickbait is still clickbait. Click hate is still click hate. These are things that are not that you can't argue that they're okay, right? If you're going to put out content and that's your parody and that's your thing, cool. But I can't defend it. I'm big against clickbait. I think there's a lot of use for that, and there's a lot of Star Wars fans that are getting into it now that I would hate to see fall down the wrong information track of what's really going on and what they're really trying to build here.
Yeah, I just want to present it as being one of the gravitational pulls towards the well of insanity, right? It's a gravitational well. His content, I don't think, is the toxicity that this fandom is often accused of. I don't think that at all. But I think it's a gravitational well towards it. And if you get caught in it, and
Santa, there is a sinister side to this, because as hilarious as we all find it, there is a direct link between Mike Zero posting something and one of our broadsheet, national papers, the Daily Express, I think it is, then publishing the article saying, according to Mike Zero, this is going to happen in Star Wars. And that somehow gives it a sense of validity. And I'm pretty, and it's suspicious how often they do that.
And if you want the corporate perspective of it, I was always told that Lucasfilm gets more pissed off about the fake stuff than the real stuff, because the fake stuff makes a promise that they're not going to deliver on.
Yeah.
Whatever it happens to be, for better or worse. Sometimes it will sound like it would be rad if there was a trailer of Luke Skywalker pulling down a Star Destroyer. But setting up all of that stuff to happen in a movie is not very viable. It's probably not going to happen. And then they go and then they put out The Last Jedi, and Luke's just like, I'm drinking blue milk and I hate myself. And then now the Mike Zero thing has created a community who are basically designed around alternate fake is better than the real thing, so let's hate the real thing. It's not really healthy.
Yeah.
Right.
At some point, though, don't we have to say that Star Wars fans should just stop buying into those kind of channels?
It's always,
but it's not us.
It's a new sucker born every minute.
It's the muggles, right? It's not us. It's the muggle. We understand that once you watch 2 or 3 videos of his, and there's others, not just him. There's others. You're like, oh, okay, I'm not watching this. This is BS, right? But then you get the muggles that are coming in because they like Mando, or they like, Bad Batch, or whatever. They like a character and they want to explore more. But then you have all of this clickbait that's telling them the wrong information, and then maybe they get turned off, right? This is the problem I have with clickbait. Look, if I do it on my channel, I write it in the title. This is fake. This is a spoiler. This is a spoof. Don't listen to what I'm really saying here. But I do that 1 in 100 videos, right? This is what this man makes his money on. Not trying to take away from what he makes his money on. I'm just saying it's dangerous when the muggles are coming in after watching something new on Disney Plus, and little kids that are impressionable and
That's
watching.
What I have. I have an 8-year-old boy who loves Star Wars, loves it, and goes into the YouTube stuff. And there's times I'm like, hey, dude, no, not that one, But on a side note, though, talking about this is like kind of a little baby Christmas spirit, Star Wars Christmas spirit moment for me yesterday. He's like, we're in the pool. He's like, Dad, I want to ask you something. I'm like, uh-oh. And then he's like, there's this comic book I really want. He's never actually wanted a comic book. And it's this one where Darth Vader gets his arm ripped off by the Emperor and gets a battle droid arm. And to me, that sounds stupid. And he's like, dude, I got to read this comic. And I'm like, all right, man, when we get out, I'll buy it for you on the iPad. And he's like, cool. So then I just bought him the whole volume of them. And then he sits there and he reads it. And Darth Vader has a battle droid arm, a super battle droid arm. He thinks it's the coolest thing that ever happened. And then later on, I'm like, you know what? That's pretty metal. I hadn't really thought about that Darth Vader having a battle droid arm is pretty cool when you're 8 years old.
Well, that's just it. Is that, and that's what I tell people when they hate so much on the content. Watch this as a 10-year-old boy or girl. Watch this as the fan just coming into this, not with your expectations so high because of the spoiler trailer, the leaks, whatever. Go into this as a child, and when you do that, it's hard. It's hard to take this 40-some-year-old brain and turn it off, right?
Yeah. So I want to call out one of our members of our community, Astromech Jeremy. He did a great interview. Again, we have just some wonderful people of this community. He did an interview this past week, and he essentially said the same thing, right? As an entertainer, as a performer, somebody who's in theater, on the stage with some big name actors, right? The guy has got some credibility from that, and I could tell you just myself, as well as a trained musician who performed live. You make mistakes in a live performance. You can't respond to that mistake. You have to keep going, right? You can't draw the audience's attention to the mistake. You have to keep going. At some point, as an observer, you need to do the same thing. You need to say, oh, you know what? That was a bad chord. I didn't like that progression. This is, tropey or whatever, right? And you just have to absorb it as an audience member, not as a professional who's critiquing every bit of it. And if you can watch it through the eyes of 10-year-old yourself, you'd be a much happier place.
Oh, and let me ask everybody here: who didn't watch Kenobi and smile and cry at certain points, and then watch it and literally verbally say, "Oh, the fans are going to hate that. I love this, but the fans are going to hate that." I mean, how many? I said that a bunch of times. I was like, and my partner's sitting there going, "What?" And I said, "We'll talk later," but they remind me they're going to hate that, right? I can feel what people feel is wrong. That's not wrong to everybody, right?
Yeah.
I completely agree. And I have to say, one of the reasons I love Star Wars so much is because I do really not try to think about it too much. Because, like you say, when I was 5, when I first saw it, and when I grew up with it, the bit that makes me laugh more than anything is the somehow Palpatine returned. Right? So it's my least favorite Star Wars film, as I tell people, but it's still like one of my most watched films. And there is nothing more Star Wars than somehow Palpatine returned. I don't like it happened, but it's kind of like, I'm not going to explain it. It's just the plot we wrote. There he is. And that happens so much in Star Wars.
I feel like Lucasfilm, I say it wrong all the time, needs better beta testing. They need to let people view this before they bring it out into the public, and not just the people that work at Lucasfilm, because everybody's going to be like, "That was amazing. That was amazing. Just put it out. It was amazing." Right? Instead of giving it to, bring in some fans, bring in some critics, some people that have really bashed your stuff, and run it through the gauntlet a little better. I feel, and I understand there's leaks and spoilers that go on, but they're already out there. Like,
Jason,
run it through the gauntlet a little bit.
Jason, do you get any of this? Because my limited understanding is, in the nicest possible way, they don't test the fans; they test the audience reaction, and the audience reaction is, "That was a great film."
Right.
They don't do any testing whatsoever.
Yeah,
They only
and that's what it feels
internally.
like.
Yeah.
But they look at the feedback after it's out, and it's
sometimes
generically
it's either they when it comes to like the animation side, I saw that more than anything. Yeah. Because there was like that vocal animation side of people that are like, "I'm in love with Callus and Hot Callus." They're like, "Oh, we're really nailing it." And then they're like, and then but when you get on to like the film side, they tend to, I think Kathleen Kennedy is all about the auteur theory, and I don't really think it necessarily applies to Star Wars because these are big corporate movies made by lots of people. So I kind of don't really understand. Like I always say, like the writer-director thing, sometimes it makes sense, but mostly it doesn't seem to make sense to me.
Awful.
Like Rogue Squadron not happening because the director has to make Wonder Woman. Sorry, just go make Rogue Squadron with somebody else. Like, and then when she's ready to direct the Star Wars movie, give her one. Like, I don't understand why the director has to be in charge of like writing it. Like right now we're in a situation where we won't have had a movie since 2019. And I think I'm going to like the movie from Taika, but after like a 5-year of whatever many years it's been, it's going to be a comedy based Star Wars movie. And everyone's just going to get mad at it because of that. But if it was the second or third one, everybody's like, "Oh, cool. It's a fresh Star Wars film." So weird.
Shout out to Quentin. Thank you for the super chat, my friend. But it's Quentin Time Podcast. If you're not sub to him, look, I've interviewed with him. Jason's interviewed with him. And I mentioned Astromech Jeremy. He interviewed with Quentin. Meg, are you on this schedule? Have you agreed to do an interview with Quentin?
We've tinkered around with the idea, but I haven't done it yet.
Excellent.
I'll do him soon.
His
podcast.
Those are the words that every Star Wars fan wants to hear. Meg,
I'll hop on soon.
I'm glad my camera was down during this.
So I want to go back to something Star Wars Obsession said and really call out Meg on this as well. Like, and he said, when I clickbait, I put it right in the title, clickbait. When you speculate, you put it right in the title, says speculation. And in today's video, Meg, absolutely, again, the perfect example. She's a perfect role model for anybody who wants to get into YouTube. anybody who wants to talk about Star Wars, Meg is the perfect role model from the business side of it. Everything she's doing there is spot on, and that's why another reason, there's a long list of reasons that Meg is so important to our community. In today's thumbnail, it says The Mandalorian Season 3 could do this, and then talks about Cobb Vanth. Very clear what that is about. Very clear. And it's reason Meg needs to have more subscribers than Mike Zero. This is a start. Like, that should be a starting point.
Thank you, Santa.
It's part of that, and Jason talked about it several times as well, that at some point there needs to be some accountability to the content creators. Like, if everything you say is false, then maybe people should quit thinking everything you say isn't false. And maybe you're...
Go one further. These people are getting bigger platforms than people like Meg, right? I mean, there's more opportunity. Like you were saying, Jason, this guy gets published, right, on a regular basis. I'm sorry, you guys were saying the wrong people are getting mentioned as almost. I mean, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but as fact checkers, so to speak. Like Meg is a fact checker. If you really want to break things down, go watch something from Mike Zero that has the same content line, and there's fact on one side as much as we can say it's fact in Star Wars, and then you have the other side of the coin that's just trying to bait you in so they can make their bread, right? There's a difference in attitude and tone, and it just feels like, make your money, do you, but don't get mad when people call you out for what you're doing. That's my thing. It's like, if this is like, I'm a shill. I love everything. It's hard to find something I don't like. Okay. I just the way I am with this content. It's not the way it is in real life, but here that's how I am. If you're going to be you, but be willing to take the stones that people are throwing at you. If that's the course you're going to take.
That's a really good point, Obsession. I want to come back
100%.
to you with one more point. I was looking at my statistics this morning. A year ago, I had 1,900 subscribers. Today, I've got a little over 2,000, 2,200. So I've gone up just over 200 in a year. There are ways that could be much higher, much higher. But I'm just not willing to change who I am and my core, my character, who I am as a human being, to do that. Mm-hmm. Right? I'm just not willing to. And I'm willing to accept that my flavor of Star Wars content is not going to be everybody's favorite.
Right.
If it means I don't have 2+ million subscribers and I have to listen to somebody else who has 2+ million subscribers say things that annoy me, then so be it. Right? So be it. I'm just not willing. I'm not willing to change who I am as a human being to change that. I'd much rather hang out with you all and get my occasional Darth Cheeks email. You know.
Well, I mean, the world's already a dark place, right? The real world's a dark place. Real life is a dark place, and we're all swimming through it. Why put more of that energy out into the world here for this? That's the way I look at it. That's my simple point of view. I'm a simple man. Most people would call me a dummy, but that's just, I would rather view positivity here and have to deal with the negativity in the real world. And like I said, the person here is not always the person on the other side of the camera, right? I'm a real jerk on the other side of the camera. I bring the best parts of me here.
So we don't share a lot of personal things about people that they don't want shared. But yeah, Star Wars Obsession you are in the media business.
I work television movies.
Yeah, I genuinely thought he was going to say, "No, you are a real jerk."
I'm in the back. He's a real jerk. Listen to everything he says.
No, but it's just one. And Quentin Obsession coming through with the facts. But well, we've also got a good friend who is an Emmy winner.
Yeah.
Who it kind of downplays it. And I'm like, dude, you're an Emmy winner. You know, be proud of that, right? Like,
is it Martin?
No, it's not Martin. No, my goodness, no, it is not Martin. No.
It is I, Darth Cheeks.
No.
No. Well, live cheeks live cheek sighting.
Where's my Oscar?
Oh my goodness! This is why we need the super chats today, my friends.
Apologies if there's any lesbian crust.
Well, you may have helped the lesbian cause today. I don't know. Obsession. Overall, just to get back to the topic, the state of Star Wars. Star Wars, not necessarily the fandom, but Star Wars, Lucasfilm.
I think it's good. I think they're busy. They're cranking stuff out. I mean, look, I'm a shill, so I love everything. But Filoni's at the helm. I'm very enthusiastic that that's the person the storyboards and the story stuff goes through. He's got a lot on his plate, so not everything is going to be perfect. When you're that guy, not everything's going to hit, right? I mean, the same thing for Feige and Marvel. Not everything hits. But I feel like Disney is heading in a direction where there's people in charge that understand Star Wars for the first time in a long time. And with a lot of this content that's coming out and/or Bad Batch, there's a lot of good storytelling that's going on over there. And there's a lot of good people working on the good storytelling. The only thing I wish they would do is I just wish that they would QC with fans and with people that understand Star Wars instead of just doing it in-house. That's my only real...
I would just say this: make sure that your room is not an echo chamber.
Exactly. Look,
That's it.
X-Wing and I have this conversation all the time. You know, we love polar views. I want people to tell me that I'm wrong sometimes, because being fed that you're always right builds you up into this place that you can't sustain and the stories can't sustain. So having people come in and say, hey, this kind of wasn't great, and doing a real focus group. That's what I was looking for. Doing a real focus group and not just an in-house focus group, I think would really set Disney on a pace that they're really destined for.
Yeah. I disagree.
I gotta say, I'm kind of with you. Go ahead. Yeah. What do you say, Meg?
I hate to say this, but I think Star Wars is kind of dead in the public eye, in like the relevance in pop culture. I just feel like no one other than diehards are talking about it, or even really know about it.
I take a little exception with that. First of all, Astromech Jeremy, thank you for the super chat. That was a great interview, Quitting Time podcast with Astromech Jeremy. We have so much in common, my friend. It is so good to hear your perspective on things and how you deal with it as an entertainer. Really good. So you guys, please check that out. I think that Star Wars is absolutely culturally relevant and is alive. One word: Grogu. Baby Yoda.
Aside from the Mandalorian.
Even just walking around, right? So I was working a golf tournament here, and everybody knows I'm the person you talk Star Wars with when you want to geek out on set, and we're bored for hours, and I can just jibber jabber about it. The conversation, we're bored for the first hour. Everybody's done everything. They've searched their phones to the end. The subject of Kenobi comes up repeatedly. Like, these are people that don't have these conversations with me. These are people that aren't really interested in the content. And they're like, what do I need to watch to get into this? And I'm like, here's some stuff. Digest this. And this is stuff I think that would be relevant and help you on your way. This doesn't happen a lot, right? This didn't happen for Mandalorian. Everybody was keen about it, but it happened there. But aside from that, this isn't something that's happened in my previous existence with Star Wars, right? This is only something new. And Hayden coming back in that old feeling, even though we only saw his face for like 15 seconds in the show, the tours and Ewan and this whole cast reuniting really popped in pop culture. And if you really look around, they're everywhere. LG made a Darth Vader TV, right? It's making the rounds, and it really, I think it's not on the upswing, but it's definitely not heading downhill right now. I think there's, with Andor and the rest of the year scheduled, Ahsoka coming out, the fact that they're making a full-blown Ahsoka show, that's gonna slap really hard because that's Dave's.
Respectfully, no one gives a crap about Andor, unfortunately. But also the fact that we seem to forget how big the hype was before The Force Awakens, even leading up to The Last Jedi. That's what Star Wars being pop culture and socially relevant looks like.
But that
And
isn't,
I
that
just
isn't
can't see it getting.
sustainable, though, is the problem. Like in reality, because that was a bunch of people who jumped ship every time something comes out, going, "I'm back on Star Wars is back. This is going to be for me." And then they're all, oh no, it's not for me again. And then they jump ship. Like it's happened with the prequels. I think it'll happen every generation. And I think that the numbers are Marvel competitive.
Right.
So I disagree that it's dead, but I also got to say about Star Wars Obsession point about like beta testing it or focus testing it. I don't really believe in that, because I think if you put like my dad in there and he'd be like every single season, so is this Boba Fett? It's like, no, Dad, it's Din Djarin, the Mandalorian, Grogu's daddy. And every single, so I don't know if you could focus test Star Wars at the same time. It's really hard.
But I get Meg's point, and it's what I mentioned to X-Wing as well. On the movie front, movies are what created Star Wars, right? And the fandom. The fandom was created by movies, and the movie side of this franchise, in my opinion, is on life support. I agree with X-Wing on that, and I'll agree with Meg from that perspective. On the movie front, we're just not getting.
But they're not making any movies, so that's why we're
Right.
going to say that.
Yeah.
How can we say anything? Yeah, how can we say anything otherwise when they put it on hiatus? So it's.
The move to television's brought it out to a wider audience. People who've never watched, might not have been to the cinema to see a Star Wars movie before, are watching Star Wars on TV, and Disney Plus has opened it to a much bigger audience. You've got different age groups watching it. I mean, I know older folk who've probably never watched Star Wars before watching it now. It's on Disney Plus,
and like you're saying, it's for the muggles, and I speak just for the muggles. I'm not speaking for the 10 people that are literally nonstop diehard Star Wars fans that are here on this panel today, but I'm just saying the muggles, it's easier to hook them with a 30-minute show, a 45-minute show, than a 3-hour movie, right? And then with this generation, their attention span is 5 seconds. So I feel like Disney, and this is just my dumb idiot opinion, Disney is taking a break from the movies for a bit. They're trying really hard. They just can't get anything to really snap in. But Disney Plus has really opened up Star Wars to people who were like, no, I don't want to watch that stuff. I'm not into it. But COVID really opened a lot of people up to, God, I've watched everything. All right, I'll watch this stupid Mandalorian show. And then they're like, this is awesome. This is a Western in space. It really opened up a lot of people. And I feel like their movie days are coming maybe next year or the year after. COVID really changed, I think, their path of where they have to go, because people are at home watching content. They're not going to the movie cinema right now.
I agree, and I think it's a blessing for Star Wars. So there's a bit of me, and I'm going to put this question out. How good do you think the sequels would have been if they were 3 seasons of Disney Plus rather than the movies? So you had time for 6 to 8 episodes each section. How much more cohesive do you think it would have been?
I think it could have been a lot.
On the other side of that, watch Kenobi as a movie. It feels like that show was shot as a movie, and they're like, okay, that's a good breaking point. Stop there. We'll get to the next one. Watching it as a one consistent piece, or even some of these other cuts, it's much more manageable, right? And so I feel like they shot a show like a movie and then tried to edit it as a show, and it feels off. The flow feels off. Where if you watch it, if they would have cut it as a movie, I think it would have been way better. And I wish they would do like a movie cut, kind of like they did with Logan. They did the director's cut, and they did the road cut for all that X-Men stuff. Give us a movie cut. Do stuff like that and see if it hits better.
Yeah, I want to go ahead, Meg.
I was just going to say, I think The Mandalorian is very relevant. I should have added that caveat, but I think that's about it. I've met Star Wars fans who didn't know about Kenobi, until it was out, and who'd never even heard of the Bad Batch, but were diehard Clone Wars fans. I just honestly don't think that many people are interested compared to like the Netflix shows.
And I was hoping you were going to go there, and Jeremy asked this question: how do you get the same pop culture movie hype out of streaming shows? Well, it happens. I mean, Mandalorian is proof within Star Wars, and as you just mentioned with Stranger Things, that it happens. You get some pop.
I was going to say, like, London Film and Comic Con, I was obviously there 2 weeks ago. There's like a famous meme of The Simpsons where you've got Homer sitting at the bar and you've got all these people in the background, whatever the pop culture thing at the moment is. And it was the Hellfire Club t-shirt. It was like, literally, before I went, I was like, I want a Hellfire Club t-shirt. And I went to London Film and Comic Con and all I saw was Hellfire Club t-shirts. Like, literally, families of 5, parents with their 3 kids, all of them wearing the same t-shirt. And that showed just 2 weeks earlier, I think, wrapped with obviously the finale, and you had the Joseph Quinn at the convention. But just that a huge pop culture moment with that Joseph Quinn's finale, the Metallica Master Puppets. It's just everywhere. I look on Facebook every day. There's a new article about it. So pop culture is still there. It's just I think Star Wars is missing a wee bit of that.
I want to bring up a point.
Spot on, and all of the London buses, Stranger Things. You go to toy shops, Stranger Things. There's like 2 Grogu toys. Nothing else Star Wars.
But here's my question, Meg. What will last longer? Right? I feel like
Stranger Things.
I feel like Stranger Things is like a new awesome thing, but Star Wars has held the test of time against a lot of things that were supposed to take over the pop culture media, and they continue to rebound. Right? They continue to come back because it's embedded in the core of movie making. Right? I mean, the stuff that they pioneered on Star Wars is the stuff they're still using today. The stuff that Disney pioneered years and years ago, all these things, move us forward. And I think the biggest mistake they made with Kenobi is they did everything in the volume, right? You can't, like, that show should have been more out in the world, right? I wanted to see more. But I think shooting everything on the volume limits them. And I think I saw that with Kenobi, where Andor, I think, is going to feel much, much, much more authentic to Star Wars because it's shot in the real world.
I think
I agree with that.
That's going to be the magic of Andor. I think nobody's talking about it at the moment potentially, but the fact that they shot so much stuff on location and so much in the UK is great for the likes of myself and Martin and Meg. We can go and visit these places, and I have visited one of the locations already, but I think that's going to make it much more real and tangible. And I think,
I want to highlight a tweet that Adam Douglas, Fanjecture, good friend of mine, posted this week, and I think it maybe addresses a little bit of what we're talking about. And this is Nielsen's ratings versus streaming service content, right? So the takeaway here, and Adam put it really well. Let me go back to Adam's third highest subscriber count, right? Comes in second to last in total of time. Mm-hmm. So this is Adam's point. Third highest subscriber count, Disney Plus, comes in second to last in the amount of time watched.
There you go.
Well,
I think
aren't their shows shorter also overall? I mean, 28 minutes on an episode of Boba Fett or Mandalorian or Kenobi, any of those shows doesn't compare to an hour of Stranger Things.
Yeah,
right?
Stranger Things are like movies.
They're I mean, it's most things on Netflix. I mean, even Drive to Survive, the Formula One stuff that's hit real big. Those are hour and a half long episodes. Your Netflix doesn't very often put out anything under 28 minutes.
Santo, I think you were going to highlight someone's comment earlier.
I was, but then I saw that I don't think that I sent. Yeah, I sent. Okay. Yeah, I was going to highlight a comment because they said they wanted me to ask you a question. Ask Meg. There it is, Bedlam. Bedlamine what about the general Star Wars YouTuber views when Mando aired? So what kind of view rate were you getting during Mando
Like
versus now?
800% more than now. No show has been as good for Star Wars YouTubers than The Mandalorian. Just look at my analytics, Theories Analytics, Den of Nerds, anyone who covers Mando. It's always the show that people care the most about.
Yeah.
Especially when it aired. Season 2 for Mando was probably a good time for most Star Wars YouTubers.
I mean, it's the newest story. Yeah, I mean, people. I think people are really enjoying something other than just Jedi and Sith. I think that's also a big part of it. They're like, wait a minute. I get to see some Mandalorian stuff. They've only been in the background here and there, unless you watch Clone Wars. They're not very forefront, and I think people really dig that. I mean, they're basically, it's a Western. I love it.
Yeah, I agree. I think, look, the topic again, the state of Star Wars as a whole, you have to look at it from multiple aspects. I don't think it's just a clear black and white, look, it's doing terribly or it's doing great. I think we're attracting new fans in every day. New fans are coming in every day. Are those fans going to purchase? Are they going to buy up all of the collectibles? Are they going to be creating YouTube content? Are they going to be, active in social media? As much as somebody who grew up with the franchise and is passionate about it, I think that's one argument. Folks have been kind of.
Oh, Santa, I've got. So I try to avoid getting my soapbox, but you have to remember, it's like when people say, and I was one of these kids. Oh, you got all the figures, and you got all of this stuff. Yeah, that's because I got a film every 3 years, and I didn't have an iPad, and I didn't have consoles. My entertainment was action figures, and I had 3 years before I saw another film, which fueled further imaginary content for me. I really hate it when people compare and go, oh, but we don't do all this stuff. No, that's because that's not the world we're living in today. And in 20 years' time, someone will be saying, well, no one looks at their iPad anymore. And it's kind of, no, it's because you've got some sort of holographic image in front of you, or it's real, or it's virtual. It's kind of like,
I love what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's
some
something that I've
holographic
mentioned.
tits or something.
Yeah, well, I've never watched Star Wars again.
Well, as
You'd be itchy from the
look,
holiday special.
as a Santa Claus, right? And I've mentioned, and I saw somebody ask, "What is a professional Santa Claus?" I get paid to be Santa Claus for like
A stripper.
No, well, not yet.
That's the off season.
But like tomorrow, I'm going to a campground, a family community, kind of atmosphere. They're having Christmas in July stuff. And so tomorrow I get paid to be Santa Claus and to appear at somebody's place. And I talk to kids, hundreds, if not thousands of kids every year about what they want for Christmas. And I've talked with Jason about this several times. Fortnite.
I want Legos. Legos.
Yeah.
Like
well, so it's
see,
Fortnite. It's that the one that starts with an M. Minecraft. And Legos. Those are what, and then there, of course, Barbies, and there's other things kind of mixed in. Barbies are high for girls. They like princesses and dolls and that kind of thing. But you don't hear kids asking for Iron Man. You don't hear them asking for Spider-Man. You don't hear them asking for Thor, right? That it just, every so often you'll get one, right? I get the little girl who wants a Jabba the Hutt, right? That happens. But
No
it's
comment.
the main the main things are Fortnite and Minecraft, and then they'll talk about some other things around that space. It's not action figures. It's not collectibles. It's people that look like this guy that are buying all of that, right?
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing is like and that's why I say I don't feel like, and this goes back to the original statement. The state of the fandom and the state of Star Wars is is bad or dead or negative. Fortnite, I'll give you an example of this. Fortnite is something that is super popular. It's a big part of pop culture. I know people from the age of 5 to 55 that play.
No,
And
not me.
and
All day.
you have Vader. Vader is currently the boss. Kenobi skin is out. When Mandalorian hits, they release skins. Boba Fett came out. I rock Phoenix skin all the time. It's very positive. I feel like it may feel different to us because we immerse ourselves in this stuff every day, but to the masses, I feel like if I continue to see Star Wars skins pop up in Fortnite, I feel like they're still very relevant in pop culture. The kids are yearning for that Vader lightsaber every game they play, right? It's very relevant in today. And I feel like that just shows that they're on the right trajectory.
I wanted to say I was sorry for throwing the Darth Vader lightsaber at you and then teabagging.
It's okay. I fully expected
it wasn't becoming of me.
Every time. What you have to do is you have to throw the splooge keg first and then teabag. That's my move. Okay?
That's a
Santa.
good move.
That's my move, just so you know. You can use it. Feel free to use it.
Yeah.
I do have to run, but happy
Okay.
birthday, and it was great to speak to you all.
Oh,
Bye,
man.
Thank you so much. I've missed you, and it's good to get to talk to you. And hopefully next week we could join again and do our regular show together.
For sure.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Santa. Happy birthday.
Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you.
Cheers,
Have a
guys.
wonderful
Thanks,
weekend.
Meg. Take care.
Bye, Meg.
Speak to you soon.
Oh, Meg has quickly become a real dear friend of mine, and I've only known her for a year. And as I mentioned, many of you that are with me here today have been in that same sort of time span. So I really this community, being able to this is what I mentioned. This is my birthday. I'm 55 years old. I'm an old dude, right? And I get to spend my birthday hanging out with friends. Talking about Star Wars. How much it can't get any better than that. And I heard Jason, you did in your interview with Quentin, right, on the Quentin Time podcast, talking how it's a bit of a construct when we talk about community and in having it. We've got friends here on different continents, right? On different sides of the continent. I'm in the Midwest. Obsession, you're out in L.A. All right, or no, you're in Nevada.
Vegas. Yeah, I'm in Vegas.
You're in Vegas. Yeah, Jason's close to LA. We've got Elvis over here in Scotland, and Martin over in London, at general vicinity.
Yep.
So we've got people from everywhere, but it's a bit of a construct because it's internet based, right? But I think we still have very real connections to very real people.
I was asked about this at Celebration. They said, "What's the best thing about Star Wars?" And I said it's a cliche, but it's always the people you meet in the community there. I said, but I'll give you a real example. One of my best friends is Scottish, and there was a picture of him showing his bum from a guy in Ohio, all because of Star Wars hanging up in his room. I said, if it wasn't for Star Wars, that wouldn't happen. But that to me is the joy of it. It's got nothing to do with Star Wars as such. It's the community, because we've got a thing in common. And then you make friends, and like 9 out of 10 people want to help people. You know, you meet the odd person that's a bit like, oh, but in real life, when you meet people, they tend to be okay.
I think it's worth calling out at this point Baymax, right?
Call him out. Get him.
Look, he introduced me to Greg and Martin, and he's been a central part of what Jason and I do every day. He is there supporting us, and to me, I've never met him in person, face to face.
Don't.
Right?
Don't.
But I have been able to spend time on the phone with him. In one-on-one conversation. He'll never come onto a live stream. He'll never go to Zoom. He'll never unmute himself. But he is absolutely a dear friend. And I think
I've got a picture of him on my desk. He'll kill me, but do you want to see it?
I've got a picture of him too, but he's got the sweat.
There he is. That's what he looks like in real life.
and look,
It looks just like him.
It does.
Look, and I went down to Orlando and I saw Vanessa. Vanessa is a wonderful person. Her children, I've got to meet them. I've got to visit with them as Santa. I mentioned Adam from Fanjacture. I've got to visit with them as Santa. Get to meet his kids and do that. Many of you who are here on the live stream have spent time with me as Santa Claus. It goes beyond. And it's something I've talked to Meg personally and Jason personally about as well, is that you are my friends. Like, this isn't just about Star Wars. You're my friends. Like, and to me, it's a big part of my mental health. It's a big part of me being where I am today is because I have friends like you, all of you here, that will reach out to me and spend time talking to me, Brian, and who know me outside of just this Star Wars stuff. And Sheev contacts me on a regular basis, say, "Hey Brian, how's it going?" Look, that's important. It's important that we care about each other. We take care of one another. And this fandom can be something far bigger than what we see displayed about the toxic side of the fandom. The obsession was talked about earlier. We have like real human beings being real decent to one another, regardless of what we may feel on one thing or another. Right?
Oh, I disagree fundamentally with X-Wing on 98% of what we talk about. That doesn't mean I dislike him as a person. As a person, we're great, but I disagree with him fundamentally on most things. But yeah, I mean, look, the idea is to have, we did it at Celebration, I had met Sheev. I gave him a room for 4 days because we didn't need it, right? It made his experience better. And it's not a thing. I don't see a lot of community in other places. And so that's what I keep saying is like, this is the community I choose to spend time in because there's like-minded people here, right? And helping one another out should be what we are after. It shouldn't be to take from one another. It should be to try to, how can I pay it forward, right? And that's what I always tell people. Oh, I'm going to get you back. Don't get me back. Someday somebody's going to need something. Help somebody else out and pay it forward. I don't need anything, right? So the idea of those kind of things, that's just an example, not tooting my horn. It's just the one example I can give of this community. But it's, I had free room. I wasn't going to use it. We were honestly going to use the room for staging so that we didn't have to go sit in a hot car. And he's like, oh, I don't know. We can get a room. I'm like, take this here. I'm going to be there like twice. Go,
Yeah. Hey, real quick. I know, Jason, you've got a show coming up at 2.
Yeah, at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're having a pizza party, so I have to go pick up the pizza.
Oh,
go get the pizza. What do you
guys want to get pizza and come over at 11 and watch me eat pizza or eat your own pizza? You can do that. But
so what's the oh, thank you so much, Jason. What's the topic of discussion today other than pizza toppings?
It's pizza.
Okay.
Star Wars pizza. Pizza party.
So no pepperoni, no pineapple, right?
No pineapple.
We'll talk about it. Bye, guys. Bye, everyone.
We'll see you. Thank you so much, Jason. Take care. All right. It sounds like it's a good time to kind of wrap things up. Look, I appreciate it. Martin, you're still doing a podcast with David Tree.
Yes, we're just about to do season 2.
Season 2.
Season 2 is about to start, recording.
Oh no! Star Wars Spins is the podcast.
Yes,
genius.
It is genius.
It's a thing. You can get it on Spotify and all that type of thing.
And it's absolutely brilliant. The sense of humor that you and David bring to the conversation is so much fun. I had so much fun hanging out with you guys. Have you been able to pin down Meg for season 2?
Not yet, but she's on the list of people we're trying to line up. Well, as you know, I've got 100% record of getting all the recommended guests.
All of them, exactly.
So you recommended Meg, so it's gonna happen. But obviously, you recommended D first, so that had to happen first.
That was a great interview, by the way. But also,
you want me to tell you that thing that he didn't say? about the Falcon, and I can genuinely tell you it now.
I fall
Oh,
for
I
it every single time. I fall for it, and then every single time I get punked.
Okay, it's your birthday, so I'm not going to do that to you. As it's your birthday, I will tell you the fact that D said. So for Star Wars Obsession, anyone else nerd it, we had Details, who's a character actor. He played Keto Sight in Solo, and he told us about a scene that once you know this, you can't see the scene in Solo without seeing it.
Oh, okay.
And if you listen to the podcast, he sort of says something about it in there, but Santa, for some reason, didn't pick up on what it was. So I will reveal it here. Basically, when they're on the planet and they've got what's the name of the planet? Kessel. When they're on Kessel and they're all looking to escape, there is a scene where you see Solo run out to rescue his friends. It's a key moment because you know he's changed heart a bit. Well,
You son of a gun! Absolutely, you dirty dog!
and you see him,
dirty.
and you see him, and you think that's not possible. And there it is. And once you watch it again, you just can't not see it.
It's
Happy
every
birthday,
time.
Santa! Happy birthday, Santa!
Every time. I'm a sucker. So the other thing that is real is the Zoovium.
The Zoovium is real, yes. It's still doing
It is
tours.
real. I've done the tour. It is brilliant as well. And for those that don't know, Constable Zuvio from the Phantom, the TFA,
Force
right?
Awakens. The Force Awakens.
The
yeah.
Force Awakens.
The star
Constable
of Force
Zuvio,
Awakens.
right there on Jakku, right in the heart of all the action, and is celebrated across the fandom. You have a museum dedicated to Constable Zuvio. You have now, off the top of your head, approximately how many vintage and Black Series figures of Constable Zuvio do you own?
3 3/4 inch. I've got just over 400, and Black Series. It's coming up for 100 now.
It's amazing.
So I've got some, but obviously the collection needs to grow. But did you see the exciting news about Batu and Constable Zuvio?
I did not.
So they've got a thing called the Bounty Hunt on Batu now, which is the new Magic Band Plus. And when you go to collect your bounty, it's only a Kuzu that meets you. So everyone, when I first saw it, it's the first time you see a Constable Zuvio face, because normally they've got the masks on. And I thought, God, could it be? Could it be? They finally got Zuvio in real. And Matt Martin said, no, it's a different one, but it is the same race. But we're edging closer to him getting his own moment.
His own Disney Plus show.
It is so good, so good. Martin, thank you so much. And again, another dear friend that I've met and reaches out to me from time to time, just say, hey, how you doing, buddy? Good to hear from you. Thank you for being here and for all the trolling that you do.
Yeah, I'll keep sending you emails.
All the time. These exclusives that I get from Martin all the time.
Yeah.
And Darth Elvis, again, you also have a podcast that I've been able to spend some time on. Tell folks just a little bit about the podcast.
So, the podcast is on Fantha Tracks Network. It's called Desert Planet Discs. So it's a bit of a Star Wars music podcast. We play music from original artists around the world, writing Star Wars parodies or Star Wars original music. People doing covers of Star Wars tunes, whether it's on harp or banjo, whatever you name it, we'll play it on the show. And myself and Carl, Mooncat Drums, who drums in Darth Elvis and Friends, talk Star Wars, what's the latest news is, catch up on the shows, all that kind of good stuff. But if anyone's got any music recommendations, any Star Wars music that we should feature on the show, give us a shout and drop me a line.
Thank you.
Always in the hunt.
Yeah, it's a good show. And Fantha Tracks, if you've not caught that, go check out their website. You get in connection there. A great source of content. And Vanessa, thank you so much for the super chat there. I really, really appreciate it. You're a wonderful, wonderful person. and a great friend. So appreciate that. And her boys, I'm telling you what, that her boys are amazing. So hey, Max has made it here from from over at Jason's show. Max, thank you from Mohawk and the rest of the cats. Mohawk, I have a little fascination with. Max's cat Mohawk is a gorgeous boy, and he comes in with opinions from time to time, and she has to deal with Mohawk's attitude. But he's, when you see a picture of him, if I looked as good as he did, I'd have that kind of
Swagger.
swagger. That's it. Mohawk's got some swagger. I'm not kidding. He's good. And obsession. As I like to say, my shield brother from another mother.
Indeed.
Absolutely. You've picked up on your content lately. You're doing some gaming stuff, messing around with getting all that set up. Tell folks a little bit about what you're up to.
Yeah, we're well this month with the Vader being so prominent in Fortnite, I went ahead and bought some gift cards, and we're doing gameplay, and I'm so awful at it that I'm trying to get wins to do giveaways, and I haven't been able to win until last night. So finally I got to give a gift card away for winning and not sucking the whole time. So and that's what I do if we get to the point where I'm like, okay, this isn't going to happen today, I just put like loser or obsession sucks as the word they have to type so that they can get in the drawing. But last night we got a W. And with the Star Wars content being in Fortnite right now, I figure there's a lot of people that want to get involved and want to buy stuff. And it's tough times out there. And I enjoy giving stuff away. I enjoy giving back. So that's what we do. We play games and we have fun and we talk Star Wars, and try to not take life so seriously. And try to appreciate what we get from this content. And I know, look, I got haters. There's haters everywhere, and I love the haters, and I feed on the haters. It makes me more positive. We're giving stuff away. I'm big. I love my Legos. I'm not as big into Legos as other people. We built a Razor Crest on one of the other streams. I have an at back there, a couple thousand pieces. Wow. That's the kind of stuff we're going to do some streaming on that once I have the focus to build Legos for 3 hours straight.
And Deborah Young, Mama Bear from Echo Base, thank you so much for stopping in, Deborah. Deborah has been wonderful here. She's been supporting the stream. Met her through the folks over at EBN, and she's tremendous. Part of my peer group, I would say, without revealing too much. But you mentioned toys. I have to bring this up. My daughter, Kayla, came down last night, and she dropped her cat off here. We're now housing her cat while she's going through she's in college, and she's going to graduate next term, and then she's got to relocate and find a new home and all that. And then she'll look at getting her cat back. So we're gonna be cat grandparents for a while with Mocha. Mocha's great, but Kayla gave me a birthday gift. I've got here. I love this guy. I absolutely love it. This is great. That bantha is adorable. Absolutely adorable. We've got the bobblehead there. I love it. Thank you so much for that, Kayla. And she wasn't able to be here today. I'm going to dinner tonight with my wife and my oldest daughter, Shay. We're going to spend some time together. So it's fantastic. It's been a great day. And I have to thank all of you, the three of you who are still here, and everybody who joined, Meg and X-Wing, certainly for joining part of the show, and of course Martin, Obsession, Elvis, and we just had. We're going to shoot over right after this. I'm going to grab some lunch, and then we're going to go catch Jason Ward over at makingstarwars.net and hang out and watch them eat pizza. I don't know what.
I don't know. Right now. He's got me hungry.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to. We're going to close out with the song that Darth Elvis wrote for us.
Oh, I think there's another song I think we need to sing first, though, isn't there?
I mean, we get in trouble for that. I mean, everybody
That is copyright. No.
we get in trouble for that. You know, I mean, I'm just saying. I'll send it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I mean, you're the artist. You're the musician. I mean, they don't even.
Happy birthday not
anymore.
copyright. That must be public domain. Surely, happy birthday.
No,
No,
really?
it's not.
no, they can't even
No.
sing it in restaurants here in the States anymore.
Yeah. Restaurants
Well,
have had to come up with
do
their
it
own.
in
They
TGI
do
Fridays.
that.
Happy birthday! Happy birthday!
You eat some fine food. You know, like that's what they do. They're not allowed to sing the actual happy birthday song anymore.
Right.
So we can't do. Oh
Right.
man, okay.
Come on, you get struck for that.
Yeah. It gets you in trouble. Although we already had a live cheek sighting.
Well,
so,
we
you know,
did cheeks, so I mean,
I'm thinking that's going to get me. Well,
Darth Elvis can't
Oh.
sing just now. He's resting his voice for tomorrow. So
there you go.
singing happy birthday, Darth Cheeks. There we go.
no. All right, guys. Thank you so much. And
Cheeks, make
we're
them
gonna-
sing. Make it sing.
Hey, sure.
We're going to close with the outro. You guys take care. Have a
Happy
wonderful
birthday.
evening, my
Happy
friends.
birthday, Santa.
Happy
Thank
birthday,
you so
sir.
much. All right. And until next time, my friends, thank you for being here. And I look forward to talking to you soon. Have a wonderful day. And Merry Christmas. May the force be with you always. Bye-bye.
Hot dang! Talking through the news from a galaxy far away. Toys and book reviews, positivity all the way. Come and join the fun, subscribe and like away. Movie news and show reviews, it's like Christmas every day. Oh, Star Wars Santa, Star Wars Santa, the Star Wars Santa Show. Oh, what fun it is to chat on the Star Wars Santa Show. Oh, Star Wars Santa, Star Wars Santa, the Star Wars Santa Show. Oh, what fun it is to chat on the Star Wars Santa Show. Ho, 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 ho. Hot dang, ladies and gentlemen, you're in for a treat tonight on the Star Wars Santa Show.